Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Look,
Good.
it's been a minute since I went live. I know they were like long countdown. So today is the launch of the Midlife Dating Chronicles. Oh my God, it's a limited series. I'm super excited. I'm going to do introductions. So we have got the Shawnee McElwain, who is an author and a speaker. And she says that dating, midlife dating, is like the same pool as debris and toxins. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, realizing I had this epiphany, like I was having a series of bad first dates, and I'm just like, it cannot be this hard to find, like, not even my person, just to find somebody to date, right? Like, it can't be that hard. And I was complaining one day, and I do my morning devotionals in the shower, and I had this epiphany, like, girl, you in the pool too. You in the dirty water. Like, so what are you doing? And so when I thought about that, and I said, you know what, I'm going to stop making, I have to turn a negative into a positive, right? So they have to be, so now they're experiences. I mean, the pool is still kind of filthy, it's cloudy, but we could get into that later. I'm gonna let Chris introduce himself because I could
Uh,
keep going on.
And then we have got Chris because we wanted to be sure that this was not lopsided, that it wasn't just us ladies talking. So we got Chris, who so kindly, after I twisted his arm, agreed agreed to join us. And he says that dating, midlife dating, is like gambling on football. So please unpack that for us.
So, similar to dating, you're betting on football, you're looking at, people's pages, statistics, trying to build a history. You're betting, you're going out, spending money, going out on dates, and usually you end up losing. So
So I want to get right into it, Chris. So can you explain what does a loss look like from the male perspective?
I mean, whether you meet a person, grocery store, the mall, online, it doesn't matter, right? So, so you spend some equity trying to get to learn them, and then you decide to meet. And, if you go out, I mean, even a lunch is going to cost you, 40 or $50. A good dinner, 75 or 80. So, you know, and like you said, how many of them first dates were a bust? So, you know, you spending $40 to $80 trying, you like, you know, you halfway through your first drink and you're like, yeah, nah,
And,
you don't know.
and and honestly, a first date for me can be coffee. It doesn't even need to be
It it
like
it it it, it can be, and I mean, but majority of the times that's not what people want. They
exactly.
like, you be like, you know, let's meet at the park and have some coffee. Oh, you cheap, you know. So that
Are you serious? So you mean to tell me that you, so even if you suggest like something like a coffee date or something like that, women will take that as,
you don't want to spend no money on them. You cheap.
wow.
But it's the first date. Well, here's the thing, on the flip side of that,
Yeah.
like, because I told people I was gonna tell their business. I'm not naming no names, but I mean, it's not my fault that you were the clown in the story. That's not, show
Yeah.
up better. So I legit, I kid you not, a gentleman, I matched with him online. He said, "What's your typical first date?" I said, "Coffee." He said, "Well, before I invest time, I like to see if we're sexually compatible. I said, so a $3 latte. Okay. So I'm not going to
But
get too vulgar on here. I'm not, but I'm just like,
oh
well,
God.
I just said, well, we're not, because I've shut down completely.
So what does that? But what does that mean?
I have
So
no idea, because I was like, I can't even get a latte. I can't even get Americana.
I, oh boy.
So
Okay.
like,
So
I
so
was like,
then
block.
on the right block, hide everything, and
Hmm.
Right.
so then on the first date, Chris, then from a guy's perspective, talking about dating is like betting on football and making that investment, and then it's a bust and you lose. So does it turn? And I know you can't speak for all men, just like Shawnee and I can't speak for all women, right? Let's do that qualifier. Is it distasteful to you all if the first date is Dutch? If or do you all feel like you have to pay?
I I would prefer that. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? So
So,
I wouldn't be offended. So,
Okay.
you know.
so I got a little childhood trauma, because because my mother always believed in Dutch, and I'm trying to break that generational curse, because I did that and it didn't serve. We're not talking about, we talk about dating, so I'm not gonna go into that story, because I got a story for every part of my life. But I just remember early on, like, so when real quick, the very first dates with my ex-husband was his birthday. It was the week of his birthday. So in my mind, I felt like I was supposed to pay. All of my friends disagree, and they are absolutely right.
Mm,
So till this day, I won't date. Like, if I match with somebody and they say, "Oh, my birthday is in 2 weeks," why I started like unmatching because I can't.
Oh no. Are you like call me in 3 weeks? We'll
Yes,
go.
like,
We'll
it's
go
no longer your birthday. Like, I can't. Because I got trauma. We talking about, are you here? Because this is the
because
first
the first
episode
episode.
is
Yes.
all about, are you even ready to date? Right?
Correct.
Like, so
Correct.
because I have that, and I am not, I can't go down that road again. Like, I just need you. Like, I don't even need, like I said, that's why I said I'm good with a coffee date, because I understand the investment. Like Chris said, a good dinner, and I'm a drinker, so I'm gonna order a cocktail. So
mm,
the date is gonna be about $100. You should have coffee with me to see if the conversation is going to flow, if we have something compatible, right? Because my biggest thing is about time. Once I realized, when I started to quantify time in the form of money, if I'm not going to waste money, I'm not going to waste my time.
mhm.
So if the coffee date dragged, then there's no need to move forward.
So if we can't find enough to talk about and there's chemistry and some engagement over a cup of coffee, you don't
Yeah,
have to worry about spending $40 or $80 because now it's not worth your time. Is what
exactly.
is what you're getting at. Okay. It's not worth the time or the energy. Okay.
And it's okay. And I'm not saying that person is not worth it. I'm just
Correct.
saying, I'm not, right,
It's,
because we're all humans. We all have, we're all worth and have value. But
Absolutely.
there is a, like, compatibility matters. Like, everybody is not going to be for you, and that's okay,
Correct.
mhm.
right?
I mean,
Correct.
that's one thing you always got to realize. I know I'll tell people in a minute, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So, and I'm
Right.
good with that, right?
Right.
I'm cool. So there's someone for you. There's someone for everybody.
and
So
I also think, and I'm just speaking to certain people, probably more so women right now, right? Because we have had so many bad experiences that when we find, oh, this was good, right? But good doesn't mean necessarily good for you,
Correct.
mhm.
right?
Correct.
And then I'm
That's
also looking,
important.
yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like you
but
have to have the compatibility.
but you also got to remember, right? Everyone has their different priorities and what's important to them. And so, for some people it's materialistic, some people it's looks, it's status, it's so, you just got to remember that, be like, I found this good guy girl, and another person like, huh? You know. So it just really depends on what your priority is when you're out there looking, and what you're trying to achieve or what your ideal person is, because it's not the same for everybody. So
So So that's a good point for me to jump in and say what my dating is
Yes.
like. Midlife dating chronicles is like the masked singer. So I don't know if anybody has seen that show. It's when there are people who come out in these elaborate costumes and they sing a song, and the panel has to determine what famous person that is. Right? Because we know it's somebody famous, but we have to figure out who it is, and they give us some hints about themselves. But it's amazing because the people have talent. So it's not like anybody's getting up there that can't sing. They can sing, they have talent, but we have to figure out who they are. That is what midlife dating is like for me, because people got on this elaborate and put out this, oh wow, shiny lights and sparkling, and it sounds good and it looks great and it's doing the moves and stuff, but you keep listening and it's like, wah, wah, this
Mm,
person is not
who they
who.
say they are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a great segue, Dr. Lisa, to talk about, like, are you even ready to date?
Yes. 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 Are you healed? And are you whole? Now, don't get me wrong, we're all evolving. That's important. We are all evolving, we're growing, we're being the best version of ourselves every day, and we're learning about ourselves. But at the basic, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, are you healed and whole enough to be even in the dating marketplace?
Yeah.
Let's unpack that, because we talked about trauma, some childhood trauma. Things pop up, things trigger us. Um, but it can't be so much, or is it so much that we don't even have any business dating? Because I can't even tell you how many people, men I've met who aren't even in a position to date. You know what I'm saying? You can't even take anybody on a Starbucks date. You don't need to be dating. If
Yeah.
you don't have your own stuff, why are you out here pushing up on somebody? It just don't make sense to
Yes.
me.
Yes. Like, if you are unhoused, you shouldn't be on the dating app.
Wait,
but
I
then,
wish I had some
but,
amen hands.
but I don't disagree with you, but you got to remember they on there for a purpose, and their purpose is they trying to get a house.
And then,
You
I,
know,
yeah,
so
but not
I
over
mean
here.
that's why
Not on this block.
your screening game got to be tight, because
Yeah. And
it's
I'm just like, I said, you got a lot of priorities that should come before you try to get into a relationship. And I must have triggered something, because I mean, all of the gaslighting and all of that. And the fact, and I'm so grateful that I am in a healed place,
mm,
because so I think the journey, so for me, the journey was like at 27, in 2017, that's when my marriage ended. And I had to take a look back, because I was dating the same people over and over throughout my whole adult life.
Mm.
They just had different names, but it was the same thing. And when and at that last relationship, when I was still begging to save my marriage. And I never forget it. It was August 17th, 2017. And and he said, I never wanted to be married.
Mm.
The
And
Masked Singer.
and I
Mm.
said, well, what are we doing? Why am I here? And then I said, you know what? It is time for me to go to therapy. So that's what I did.
Mm,
And yeah, and it's funny because I will never forget my therapist. The first 4 weeks of therapy, I had therapy back then every Wednesday. And the first 4 weeks, and so finally on week 4, she said, when we gonna get away from Jaspers? and the reason she said that is because my first date with my ex was at Jaspers, and I kept bringing it up in therapy. Have no idea why. Like I was just like, and she said, when we gonna leave Jaspers?
wow.
And
Wow.
so, yeah, so I think you when you come out of something, especially something for so long, you got to do the self work, right? Because I'm not by any means saying that I was a perfect wife, right?
Mm.
Right, but so there, there are things I know about myself now that I'm not going to
Right.
do in the next long-term relationship. So you have to make sure that you address the issues, and sometimes you got to take it back to childhood,
Right.
because that's where we formed our ideologies. That's where we formed what we think the idea of a relationship is. We get that in childhood. These comments are hilarious though.
Wait
Are
a
you?
minute.
Yes.
I gotta put them. Okay, hold on. What we got what the ham sandwich? Not the $3 latte. Oh my God. Oh well, happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can see the comments. So this is good. Makeup after the birthday passes.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Pe-
God. Mass
People do that
dating.
all the time.
You exactly right. And so see these folks know because they out here too. So I'm really curious. Um yeah. So
Oh, man.
so go ahead, Chris.
I'm laughing at the comments. Sorry. But I mean, to me, it's like yes. So you have to be in a healing place, right? But you also have to understand what are you dating for, right? And so,
Okay.
like I say, I'm dating for friendship, right?
Right.
I,
Right.
I was still in the healing process, so I don't want to be alone. I want to meet people, go out, hang out, but I don't want to be in a relationship at this time. So I would be upfront with people that I met that, you know, we can be friends and we'll see where it goes. But do I want to be in a relationship? No. And so I think you have to understand where you're at in your healing process
That's important.
and what you're looking for. And really, and I kind of looked at it twofold too, right? My next wife, I want to truly be that best friend. So
Mm,
starting as friends and growing from there, then you're turning that friendship into a relationship versus trying to date, have a relationship, and then become friends. And so, because you're a lot more honest with a friend than a girlfriend.
mm. That's interesting. That's interesting. So you feel like if you start from a friend perspective, then you have a better success rate then
I mean,
of
because you're building a foundation, right? So
mhm.
So you're building a healthy relationship that is built on friendship, and then you can see where it goes from there. And so it gives you a foundation.
Okay. That's interesting. What do you think about that, Shawnee? How do you start off? How do you start off as friends?
I think I, I think being upfront, being transparent, doing activities together, right?
Hmm.
Like just right. Um, and setting your intentions from the onset, right? Like if you really are looking for long-term relationship, then you need to say that up front, right?
Mhm.
Like you need to say that up front and then stop trying to match with people that say they're open to anything or something casual. Cause it's not gonna work. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
like
yeah, you got to know what you want and express it and stick
right.
by it.
Okay, but even when the sparks aren't flying, how about that? So if sparks don't fly, do they ever start? If you're friends and there's no spark, do sparks ever happen from a friend zone? Because you hear about, I don't want to be friend zoned, right? Can you ever come out of that?
According to Hallmark movies, you can.
I can't with you. I cannot. I cannot. Because Hallmark always has a happy ending.
They've been best friends for 20 years. They getting engaged and all of a sudden they got feelings.
Okay, Chris, what say you?
I mean, I don't know about the hard mark one because that ain't if it ain't on ESPN, I ain't watching it. But no, I do think. I mean, we all evolve, we all change, and so I mean, I think the more time that you spend around a person, and depending on your level of conversation, that intimacy can develop. So, I mean, I believe it's possible.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna take 20 years either, but
Or does it take somebody getting engaged like in the Hallmark movie? Because then somebody ends up planning a wedding or being asked to be the best man or the best woman, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I have feelings for this person.
I mean, I don't know. And we all change, right? So, in the course of, all relationships, right? We evolve and we change. And so, I mean, there could be a point where you're like, oh, that's just that's my homie, that's my good friend. But then over time, you'd be like, man, look how he treating that woman. Hmm, I know what I'm
Okay.
worth. He gonna treat me better. So, so a lot of times it's your perspective and how you're looking at it.
Okay. So Pastor Belina said that companionship at our age in midlife is important. So I'm asking the question, what is companionship? Does it and does companionship vary from person to person?
It probably does. I mean,
Okay.
so I mean, similar to likes and dislikes, right? It's what you know. Is it someone who every Saturday will meet you at the park and have a coffee with you, and you're good with that? You know, it just really all depends. Or is it, someone that you're hanging out with multiple times a week? Just really depends on your needs and their availability. A lot of times.
And so healed and whole and being even ready to get out there. So how soon after one relationship ends, there's the cliche, the easiest way to get over one person is to get under another, right? Or get with another.
But if you going from one relationship to the next, then you taking all that unhealed trauma,
Hmm.
and you're making a mess that's going to collapse in 3 months, 6 months, 3 years.
I think you got to take time to breathe. And I think it also depends on how long you were in that relationship. Because if you were in, like, especially a marriage, and if it was a long term, like if it was long, you don't remember what you liked by yourself, right? And then you get in, especially if you're doing online dating, right? You can't even answer the questions. Well, what do you like? I don't even know what I like, because like you start answering questions that you remember your spouse liked, right? Like you be like, I don't know what I like. Like I had this one guy was legit was like, I don't even know what I think I like chicken because I had chicken every Wednesday. I'm like, you not ready, sir. Go back. Y'all are laughing. Am I the only one that experienced all of this?
I,
Like,
I,
No.
I mean I mean, to that extreme, like I didn't even know I knew I like chicken, but I mean, yes, I mean, I have experienced. I mean, I've even taken a step back. Like, you need to take some time and heal.
yeah,
Because you can hear it in the conversations, right?
yes,
It's I had a friend who um we could just be talking about barbecuing on the 4th of July, and it was like I wasn't allowed to do this, and I'm like, everything would be like brought up about something that happened in the marriage that wasn't allowed to do, and it's like, how did we get there? And
yeah.
so it was like, it was like, I know you said you was going to therapy. You might want to go back.
Because what happens is you can end up trauma bonding with somebody, and that's not good,
Yeah.
right? Because if that, like, if all you want to do is talk about your pain and
Mm-hmm.
what went wrong, that's why I never, and like a red flag for me is when I meet someone and they immediately call their ex names. I'm
Mm-hmm.
out, right?
Yeah.
Off the break, like I don't even know you, let alone the ex, right? And so I'm always cognizant of, okay, there's always two sides to a story.
Mm-hmm.
So like someone just doesn't become that crazy overnight.
Yeah.
You got to build up to crazy.
And like my pastor said, remember, you picked them. You know.
Right. And
Uh,
especially if you have children, you got to be careful of
mm,
of how you describe your,
yes.
the other parent to your children,
Yes.
because like that's important. So I think you because I remember I had a great first date with someone back in like December, and but I think what hurt the progression is because we spent like, and I was trying to redirect the conversation, but it was a very, I don't think he was healed from his
Mm,
situation, because it was very, very much like he went down memory lane, and I felt very
mm,
like a therapist, right? So I'm like, yeah, I gotta be specific with God when I be praying for conversation. I mean, like, I'm like, okay, God, remember when I said I want somebody to communicate well? Yeah.
But
He talked for 3 hours. So my prayer was
mm.
answered.
but
And the topic of conversation could have been left to his therapist.
so you saying we got to get as specific in our prayer request as to
Yes.
say, I want somebody who's a good communicator, but who will communicate about something or someone other than just the
Yeah.
ex. Or
Tell me
ex-
their joy. That's why. So I start with joy.
Oh,
I
nice.
start with joy. That is my first
Mm.
question even determine if we gonna even get off the app,
Okay,
right?
so what does that look like? What does starting with joy look like?
So tell me, what brings you joy? Now I
Oh,
get a lot of superficial answers because I don't think everybody really fully understands what joy is. But like, if I get a dumb response, like, I don't want to call it a dumb response. So let me run that back. But if it's like, oh, just being alive, that means, I mean, yeah, that should be that is joyous. Living is joyous.
But I mean, and I'm not gonna offend the dumb answer, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, without no, that person could have been through something. They really being alive
Yes.
is the joy, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a cautionary tale that first, those first conversations of, you know, I say trying to pull something out of people sometimes, right? Because it's like, you own this app, or we met, and and it's like I don't know you, so it's like, I just don't know how to start. I can talk about a lot of stuff, but you know, I don't know you, so I shouldn't. I don't want to have to always try to pull information out, right?
But
I
if
get
a
that.
person can't answer the question, how is that pulling something out if you get asked a question and you can't answer the question?
Tell me about yourself.
I
Tell me
don't like
about
that
yourself.
question. Oh my gosh. I cringe.
Why?
Why? Because I don't even know where to start.
But that's an honest answer. Say it, right?
Oh, so that is the answer. I don't even know where to start. You're
I
saying,
said, can you
okay.
be? Someone asked me that today. I said, please be more specific.
Okay, so wait, we got a question in the chat. So in
Okay.
y'all's experience, how long until the mask comes off?
90
Uh-oh.
days, 3 months.
You
It
think
starts
it
to,
take
yeah. It starts to the
Longer than that. You got to
the
see them.
repres
You got to see them in all seasons.
that's true. But so, oh, wait a minute. So when they say all seasons, that means that's literal, like winter, spring, summer, fall?
Um, uh, so for me, the way my pastor explained it was, you got to see them when they're high, when they're low, when they experience joy, pain,
But how do you know this?
time?
time, right? Because you got to think about it, right? When you first, like 90 days, right? It's, when you're first meeting somebody, right? They're telling you all the good stuff about them.
Right.
No one's coming in saying, my credit score is 200. I just got fired. I got 19 kids, right? No one is bringing all that to the table, right? They're like, oh, you like Luther, man? Luther, man, I remember Luther. So all these high positive connection notes, that's what they're trying to hit in those first 90 days, right? They're just trying to, we have this connection. And it's like, it's that puppy love. It's like, oh my God, I just feel like they just know me and I know them because, and
And it doesn't have to be all seasons, like summer, winter, fall, but definitely, like you say, Chris, angry. I need to see what do you like when your feelings are hurt? How do you respond when there's an illness in the family of somebody that you love and care for? What when the kids are cutting up or whatever in some different stages,
yeah.
because again the mass singer shows up and they can tap dance 90 days, please. In midlife, 90 days is nothing.
Well,
Mhm.
I have I've started to see a change in people at that 3 month mark. Right? Like I literally just ended like a 4 month thing, and we were almost at 4 months,
Mhm.
and then like it just went left.
Cause I mean, eventually, right? Life be lifing, and so you know, so as much as you want to put on this, everything's great, and we have all the, life be lifing, and so eventually, that bad day at work's gonna come out, and it's how do they really respond when something goes south, right? Are they still that happy, chipper, first 60-day person that you met, or, and it's them, right? But the problem is you really haven't met them yet. You've met a portion of them and you like that portion of them. And the question is, when you start to see the other portions of them, right? Because they're all the same person, right? You just haven't seen them yet, right? But you like this one. Do you like this one? And then where's that red flag where you're like, I don't even want to meet the rest because here was cool. Here, I'm out.
So look at Sonia's question. She's asked. She says, so let me ask it this way: how do you ask folks to be honest? How do you ask folks to be honest?
I
I
just
don't know
say,
why you have to ask.
right, because you do, because
I mean, don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me,
yes,
it's. I know some, it's. Tell me who you are, right?
yeah.
It's don't pretend to be what you think I want you to be. Be you.
So I said to this person, so I went on a date last Wednesday, and he and I usually on the first date, I usually don't let people know where I live, but I don't know, I had a good vibe about him, so he gave me a ride home, and he said, "Do you want me to walk you to your door?" I said, "Do you normally walk people to your door? Do what you normally do." Right? This is an interview. I said I'm collecting data. That's what dating is. Dating is collecting data.
Correct. To make a determination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, is there going to be a second date? Who knows?
It's a cautionary tale, right? Because we've all been through our own,
Yeah.
and so it's he might have had an experience where he didn't ask and was like, you didn't ask you could walk me to my door, So sometimes it's as you're going through these different experiences, right? I mean, so you got to be cautious with your response also, because it's you got to have grace, because you don't know what the other person we're talking about our experiences, right? What have their experiences been? So so many times you trip on that wire, you gonna ask before you just keep walking.
That
And
is so
so
true.
and so do you let a woman do men typically let a woman know where they live at, or do y'all prefer as men dating, meeting out? How long does it take for a woman to know where you live? Because it seems like sometimes guys seem offended when you don't let them pick you up at your home, where you live, and you want to meet someplace.
I, I ain't got no preference, right? I mean, if you live on the other side of town, we meet in the middle. I don't see why not. I mean, I would more apt today that my kids are gone to, say where I live versus when, my kids were with me. So, I mean, it's, safety first, especially for them. But I mean, I play by ear, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's different. So it's not a hard, fast rule.
Right.
You just got to sort of, what is your comfort level with that person,
I okay, so I want to just talk about the whole because I've never experienced people going more than 90 days hiding themselves. Like this is so new to me. Like I get the red flags within the first 3 months. Now, I have in the past typically ignored them. So I had to ask myself, what color does the red got to be? Like, are we talking about burgundy?
Yeah.
So I know I'm the problem. So I'm working on that. But
You're part of the problem, but I mean, we all are in our own
right.
sense, right?
But
And
I'm doing better with that because I'm like, whoa, 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 this is a red flag, right? So
But so I had this conversation with a friend a while back, right? And so um and it goes along with that healing journey, right? So, as we talk about red flags and yellow flags, right? The thing to remember is, are you being triggered by what someone else did? Because this is a different person in a different time. Now, you may be like, I've been down this road before, but it is a different person. It is a different time. You're different. That's a different person. So even though that red flag goes up, right? Is it the same red flag as your previous experience?
Oh, okay. So this is a follow up to the question with the red flags, like you all were talking about. You're coming into this self aware. So do you allow your date to come as they are and see where they go, or do y'all have some expectations of them?
I have no expectations anymore. Not one. Like I none.
Look, this is a
Okay,
limited
hold on. Let
series.
me.
This is a limited series. Maybe it needs to go a little bit longer because we gotta have some expectations. Please clarify for me, because we get what we expect.
They
So please,
breathing.
exactly. So please expound on that a little bit, Shawnee.
I
When
mean,
you say no expectations,
for the first date, like for the first date, I don't expect anything. I really don't. I expect to get coffee. That is what I expect. I got stood up going to get ice cream, y'all. I have no
oh, that's
expectation.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
I have
That's
no
right.
expectation.
I,
Like,
I, would, I would say for me, it's, because you have a conversation before you get to the,
yes.
let's have the face to face. So my expectation is the same conversation that we had chatting on the phone, texting, whatever, is the same thing that we're going to have face to face. And if it's not, then it's like, you know, I'm kind of good.
So then if it's not, do you give the person, is there a second date?
I
Is
doubt
there
it.
okay.
Okay, so what happens? What about this, y'all? Okay, and I'm not trying to be superficial, but if the person says they are 6'3" on
Mm.
the in their profile,
I'm getting off this camera now because
and
I don't
why? And
because at this point I know where you're going.
and
And
you
and
get and you meet them
And they
and
four
you
eight.
meet for the first date and they are 5'8". Did they lie or did they stretch the truth?
I need Chris to chime in on this because 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 when somebody tells you that they tall and then you put on your heels, you put on your we women put on our 4-inch heels and we go and we're
Okay.
standing and we're looking over the dude's head because he's only four
Did,
foot
did,
three.
did he say he was 6'3" or he said he was
Yes.
tall?
And I
His
took a screenshot
and
of
his
it.
profile says
Okay.
he's 6'3".
So that's just a straight up lie,
So
right? So I
so when
mean,
I call it out, I'm wrong though.
no, you're not. I mean, the truth stands what it is, right?
But that's not what men say. They're like,
They
"Well,
get mad. They get
I
very
I
mad.
didn't think you were in the height like that and this and that." Dude, I'm about to say something else. Dude, you said you were 6'3"
Yeah. I mean,
and
you.
you three
I
six.
mean, you go. I mean, you go by what the initial representation is, and it's the same for the people who put pictures from 15 years ago,
Yes. Why do they
right?
do
So
that?
you saying it's like the woman who put the picture on and she got baby hair and she a size 2 and then she show up and she's divisible by
42.
2. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There'll be a problem, right? I mean, be who you are, right?
Yes.
So it's
Okay, so I have this rule where I prefer to just match with people who like me first.
I do the same thing.
So I so I match Now, and because I'm very transparent because
Yeah.
I want people to be transparent with me. So
Mm,
I have headshots and I have full body shots within 2024.
mm,
I didn't we don't need to go backwards. And this guy was like, I don't date fat women. Unblocked. I'm like, you are stupid because you matched me first.
yeah.
Like, first of all, I don't date people that don't read and look at pictures. We're playing Pictionary, people. What are you doing?
Mm,
It's totally unserious in the online dating world. I just want to tell people that if you are coupled, stay coupled. Don't come out here.
Oh, look, what do they do in poetry when
We,
somebody reads
I'm pra-
something?
I'm praying for
Yeah,
all the married people, all the couple
stay
people.
married. Stay
Stay
mm,
married.
married.
Because the fact of the matter is when you come out here in these single streets, it's the same people, right? It's people who came out of situations, and regardless of what we get into, just keeping it 100, you're going to have to work through something. You're going
Yeah,
mm,
to have to work through trauma. You're going to have to work through issues and challenges and people's background and baggage. You're going to have to work through that. So if y'all are married and you happen to be watching this and you think that you got your big toe in the water because you're going to get out here and you're going to do this and all that, lies,
there are some people
lies.
on the other side.
It's just as
because
brown. Yeah.
and
Mm,
also there's married people in the single dating pool, and I'm not trying. I don't even understand
yeah.
that one either.
Yeah, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that's challenging because even if you meet somebody, one, you're married,
Mm,
meaning you're not in the market. You're not on the market. So even if something were to pop off and feelings and people get feelings and want to move on to something else, into a deeper or more committed relationship, you can't because you're not market available,
mm,
right?
Right.
It's like trying to buy a house that somebody owns and they don't even have a house on the market.
Right.
So
It's not for sale.
it's not even for sale.
but you got to be honest about your situation because
Yes.
I was on dating sites when I was separated. Even before I knew I was gonna get the divorce. Right, while I was
Did
still
you, and you told people that you were separated, correct?
straight up where I was at. Right.
So then they get to choose what they get to decide what they want. I just want people to be transparent
Yeah. I
and
mean,
be
you got you
honest. It kind of goes back to that question I think Sonia asked about how do you get people to be honest? And I've been using these words like I just want to create a safe space for both of us.
yeah.
So I just need you to be transparent and we'll see how it goes. Right? I try to lead with that. I think also people think that like they could get over on me because like it's not. I'm very transparent about what I do. My faith in ministry and the work that I do all collides, right?
Mm, mm,
So so the minute they know that I'm in church, I think they got a flunky because I think they think that like I don't know what I'm doing out here,
mm,
and I'm like, no,
Or because you're a person of faith, and what is faith and church but open to everybody to be
yes,
converted and
yeah,
and all of that. So then people can take that as, oh, they know I'm a work in progress, and he or she is willing to deal with that,
yes,
or
yeah.
mm.
work through that. What you think?
A- Absolutely. And then on the flip side of that, spending years thinking I was supposed to save somebody. That is not my job.
Mm-mm. I mean, I got, I got more friends on my daily devotional that I've never even met that I met off dating sites that I didn't get that far with them. But I send them a daily devotional every day,
Right. And they look for it. And
and they
and
look for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I ain't, it was It's like we connected, a few conversations, wasn't
Yeah.
there. I mean, some of them 2, 3 years. But send them a message every day. Never met him a day in my life in person.
That's true. He
You
has
know,
he does a post every day, a motivational, encouraging post every day. So yeah,
I
and
mean,
he
so I
has
look
an
at it.
extensive list.
Sometimes we just meet people for
Yes.
purpose, and sometimes it's something else. So, but
Hmm. Okay, we've gone 53 minutes. So we talked about healed and whole. We went several places, red flags. We talked about how long it takes for the mask to fall off, and asking somebody to be honest. It's like if we have to ask, are they really being honest? Right? And
I mean, it's a prerequisite, isn't it? I mean,
you would think,
But it is that, but it's that balance of, like, yeah, being honest, but then also, and being transparent, but like, you don't need to divulge everything all at once also,
yes. I mean,
right? It's
it's
that, right?
yeah.
Like
Don't. I mean, if I'm like, are you married? And you're like,
that, yeah,
no,
that's number
right?
one.
So be like, it's a difficult subject, or
Yeah.
there's some, but don't be like no when you are, right? Or
Yes.
do you got kids? No. You got a job? No, right? It's it now you don't need to tell me what your career is, how long you've been there, and all that stuff. Okay, that's cool, right? But I mean, be honest with you don't have to devote, like you said, you don't have to divulge everything, but honest. And if it's a direct question, be honest. Even the
well,
honest, I'm not gonna answer that right now. You know,
right. Well, but that is an answer. Even
it,
if
it
you
is
say
an
you're not
answer.
going to answer
You know,
right now, that is an
yes,
answer to
you
at
know.
least, give a person an opportunity to think about it, or wonder why, why aren't you going to answer it right now?
Mhm.
So, before we close out, next week we're going to talk about truths and lies versus profiles and perspectives. So we had a good time talking about that. Um
Okay, so I talked about the height thing too soon. Sorry.
I don't think so, because
Yeah.
that falls in the line of, are you healed and whole? Because you wonder sometimes, what is the trauma behind someone lying about their height, or lying about their age, or size, and things like that, because
Mhm.
there's a reason why.
Yeah.
And if we're not bringing our healed as best we can and whole self to the table, then that explains why we go back to Jaspers. That explains why, right? Why the
Yes.
people that we date follow the same pattern, may have a different name, look different, but the same act, same scene,
Yeah.
same ending, right?
Yes.
There's a reason for that. So we have to ask ourselves the question, am I even ready
Yeah.
to be out here dating? And if we are ready, then we ready to go to the next step. Truth and lies, and profiles and perspectives. And in the meantime, for those of us that are in the Florida area, we are
Yeah.
lifting up prayers, because Milton is a monster. I know Chris is in the Orlando area. I am in the Tampa Bay area, the direct line. I have evacuated to the DMV area right now, but my family is still in South Florida, um, southwest side of Florida. So we are praying for you in Florida. We are trusting God that it won't be as devastating as they are predicting, and no loss of life. So we will see you next Monday at 7:30, wherever you're watching us now. And in between time, post questions, on our wherever you're watching us now on those various platforms, and we'll plan to answer them, and chime in like you did tonight, because these questions are very thought provoking.
Yes.
And it helps us know we're not the only ones
Right.
with these midlife chronicles, dating chronicles, because this is, oh God, this is so interesting. Oh my goodness. So next week, same time, 7:30 p.m. on Monday. We will see you then.